What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the All In Show, baby. Before you even think about tuning in to the rest of this video, hit that subscribe button, like it, show some love and support. Today is very special because I have a co-host with me to my left, not to my right, but to my right, I got a very dangerous person in the room who would probably kill every single buddy in this room with his bare hands. So, with that being said, Tommie, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, man, not too much, just here to co-host, ask Juan some questions. Let's, figure out.
Yeah. And then to my right, I got Juan Martinez, the fifth. How's it going?
It's going good, man. By the way, no one else calls me Jonathan. That's not like my official
I know that
or anything, but just so everyone knows,
Yeah, just to clarify, nobody else calls him Jonathan. I call him Jonathan because it's funny.
It's exclusive.
Well, how's everybody doing? Anything going on in your guys' weeks? Tommie?
This is I only have to work a couple days this week. Go on Thanksgiving break. Enjoy the holidays. That's about it. What about you?
My week's been good. It's honestly been... I'll wait for my week. You got anything spicy or interesting? Tell me something juicy.
I think really the most interesting thing that's happened this week is just talking to some college recruiters about my son. Just trying to get the wrestling season started and, hope for a good year. So.
Yeah. Are you coaching the wrestling season?
Yeah. I'm one of the assistant coaches over at Centennial and nabbed one of those jobs over the summer. So, we hope to have a good year. We got a strong room, got a good coaching staff. So hoping it's a lot different than last year's experience.
Yeah. All the love and dubs for the team and for your son. I think it'll go good. I think it'll be a good season for you guys and for your son. I think it's going to be like a interesting milestone in both of your guys' lives right now. He's been just leveling up and it's been fun to see that.
Yeah, definitely. And, Juan actually here has been a huge part of that. We all started with Jiu-Jitsu, joined wrestling to strengthen that Jiu-Jitsu base. And, he's really taken to it. A lot of the dudes at the gym have been helping him. We train with the head coach at Centennial, so it's been a nice ride. You guys have seen him from a short, chubby kid to what he is now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been fun.
It's been 5-6 years
at least. Yeah, let's see, he just turned 15, so yeah, probably about 5 years. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I'm just going to switch, Brad, but I got you those over the head ones.
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
you look like Joe Rogan in the house. Juan, what's going on in your week?
Nothing much. We just had an in-house tournament at the gym, and essentially what that is, it's just our own students against our own students, kind of like just for fun type thing, just to get a good experience. And that was a pretty cool event. We live streamed it on our Facebook. But yeah, it was super fun. The kids had a lot of fun.
Did it go on your YouTube at all, or just
No, it was just on our Facebook page, like the gym's page.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. What else is going on besides that? Any new ventures you're doing or gonna take on?
I have been really into videography and photography lately.
I've seen that.
Just like you.
Yeah.
But I've been doing a lot of that every weekend when I'm not at the gym.
Nice.
So I'm hoping I can start, taking on some jobs and stuff and trying to make some extra money with it.
Oh yeah, dude, that'd be sweet. Where do you usually go? Do you just go with the flow, or do you have a set destination you go to?
Normally what I do, so I'll just it's honestly kind of random how it comes to me doing a shoot or something. My sister needed senior photos, so she asked me if I would do them. So that was a couple weeks ago. I ended up doing that. But last week, my girlfriend's sister, she has a Mustang, and she's all into her car and stuff. So I told her I would take some photos of her car, and that's what I was doing last week.
Did you drop those photos yet?
No, I sent them to her, but I haven't dropped them yet, on my Instagram or anything. I don't think she's posted them yet either. So
I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
I've seen that, dude. You've been you're such a talented individual, not only in jiu-jitsu, but you've been like doing videography and like you've been making content for how many years?
Consistently not long, honestly, but I kind of started videography, I'd say in like middle school, so probably I don't know, I was probably like 12 or something like that. I'm 25 now, so
Fuck.
like 13 years, but it hasn't been consistent. It's not like I was just like grinding it, you know. It's been lately really consistent though.
It's
Like
good
the
to
past
see.
year has been like super consistent with just making videos, taking pictures.
Did you stream at all in the past? Like live stream on like video games, like Twitch stream or Steam, whatever it's called?
I I've done like a couple live streams on Twitch, like playing video games and stuff, but nothing serious. Like I didn't actually do it like a consistent schedule or anything. I just did it for fun a couple times, but you know, like one viewer or something like that.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. I love to see that. You know, it's always cool to see friends and other local creatives just like trying to hone in on their craft,
Oh, yeah.
any craft, and dedicate consistency to it. Because, I mean, as you both know, like consistency is the hardest part.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's fun to see. But anything else going on in your guys this week? So I feel like I don't want to fucking. I guess I'll talk about my week real quick. Get that in there. My week has been humbling, to say the least. Ups and downs with the emotional roller coaster. At work, I've had to check my attitude. I'm like so tired coming into work, and I'm like, oh man, like I don't want to work today, but I have to. So I had a few coworkers come up to me and they're like, what's going on? Like you're not usually, you know, like on it. And I'm like, fuck. Like I'm just tired, you know, but other than that, this week has kind of been, I guess, chill. Like I took a break from creating some content and posting because I want to try to like build a little portfolio of clips and reels and all that stuff to be able to consistently post. So this week has been kind of like seeing what kind of content I can like use and post, but I got some good content yesterday. I was at the tailgate for CSUP. Fucking go pack. I'm not a student, but I love the university. It was fun. I don't want to put too much sauce into it, but tailgates at a college football game was pretty fun because these students are a little sauced and they gave such a hilarious reaction. I'll just like give you a little insight of the question. So I asked him, I was like, if she tells you he's just a friend, what does that really mean? What do you guys think? Huh, Tommy?
You know, I think, you know, if she's telling you that, I mean, that's what it is, dude. You guys are just friends. I mean, you gotta take a step back. You know, not be so forward.
Come on, man. That's all you got?
Yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I got. I'm not
Jesus. All right, Juan, your turn. Take the reins.
I think it depends on the person. Like if you know this person's like one of those people.
One of the hoes?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Then you could be like, all right, we know what that means. But if you're like, you know, like one of your, I don't know, let's say you've been dating this girl forever and it's actually just a friend, you know,
It's funny you say that. I ran into some people who were with their significant other. And I was like, hey guys, I'm doing this like YouTube series for my channel. I'm asking a question, told them the question. The people that were in the relationship, they didn't want anything to do with the question.
Really?
Yeah. They gave me like the side eye.
they're like, bro, come on.
They're like, you know, like my response is going to get us split.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drop that little
Man.
controversy on you real quick. I'm like, all right, fine. Keep your secrets then. But then this other guy came up to, and he initially like was down. He gave me a response. He's like, well, I'm with my girl, so I like to think she's loyal. And I'm like, all right, well, what if you weren't in a relationship? And then he told me straight up, he's like, oh, well, she a hoe. Like, she's messing around. Then he hits me up. He's like, hey, bro, actually, don't post that. I'm like, is this because of your girlfriend? Is this what it is? I'm like, all right, I got you, bro. He's like, you're the GOAT. I'm like, shh. Say less, brother. I'm not going to say I won't post it. But I'm gonna hit him up periodically and be like, "Hey, you still with your girl?" Or I might drop it on like another platform so that way he doesn't
Something
see
he doesn't
it.
have.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's
so,
funny.
You better hope he doesn't watch this. He's
Yeah.
oh god, hey,
writing it out, bro.
I'm not gonna drop it, but if you see it in the future, I hope you're not with your girl. Okay, but I'm gonna keep my word, baby. I'm gonna stay to it. I'm not gonna drop it.
Okay.
So that's
I don't believe that, but
believe it. I said it. All right.
What Xander speaks is truth.
that's what they say.
Allegedly, about like 70% is truth, 30% maybe lies,
Yeah.
white lies, or big lies. I don't know. You be the judge of that, guys. Fuck. Anyways, enough about my week. Juan, I want to get to know you a little bit more. I want to know your story. How did you start out in jiu-jitsu?
All right, so kind of funny story. I mean, I started watching UFC when I was probably like 9. I think I was around 9, 10, or no, probably like 8 or 9 when I started watching UFC. And I got the UFC game, like 2009 UFC.
The one
And
with
then
Lesnar on the cover.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it was Lesnar. Yeah. But I started playing that game and I got all into it and I was like, dang, I actually want to like try this like in real life. So I told my parents and then they found an MMA gym, which was Iron Athletes. This is like, I don't know if they're still a thing or not. I think they closed, huh?
Yeah, they're not around, or they branched off
Yeah,
into a
something.
different name,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. They're not, they used to be by like the old Kmart,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're not there anymore.
Was
And,
that a karate gym?
No, it was the MMA. Well, they did like MMA. They did like maybe, I don't know if it was CrossFit. I don't know. This guy ran like some personal training out of there. I'm not
I remember
entirely
the
sure.
name.
Yeah. So I started with them. I did that for about a year, just strictly MMA, no jiu-jitsu or anything. I mean,
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu in
mixed
MMA,
in.
but not like a jiu-jitsu like practice or anything. It was just like MMA. And then a new coach came in and my dad didn't really like the vibe. So he took me out of there and he sent me to, well, actually he didn't send me. My grandma worked at I think it was it AT&T call center or something like that? Yeah,
on
by the Riverwalk, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, my grandma worked there and she worked with a dude who did jujitsu. His name's Fabian. Shout out Fabian. But yeah, he was training like forever ago, like when I started. And my grandma, I have no clue how this came up in their conversation, but he told my grandma about, I guess it wasn't Childress then, it was like Root Effects. So he told my grandma about them, and then my grandma put me in, my grandma and my grandpa, and they would take me every day. And honestly, since then, I've just been consistent with it ever since then.
Did you? I was wondering. So, was it natural for you? That like, did you excel right away, or were you the nails sometimes?
Honestly, so I feel like I was always like an athletic kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely was like, I wouldn't say I was like a prodigy right away.
Of course.
But I was definitely athletic. And really there was only, back then there was no kids class. It was just adults and kids together. And there was like, I don't know, like 3 kids there in the jiu-jitsu class. So, and I was the most athletic one.
That makes
so like
sense.
obviously did fine.
Yeah.
And then the adults would go easy on me because I was a kid. So I kind of had it easy at the beginning. There was definitely some older kids that came later on, or some like teenagers and stuff. And like I would have a harder time with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say I was kind of lucky with my start, where I was kind of like, not that this is always a good thing, but I was kind of like the top kid there. So it wasn't as, I didn't have as much friction going because I wasn't like suffering all the time.
That makes
you know?
sense. Yeah.
So it wasn't until later that I started going with the adults, where I was like actually like struggling quite a bit, like a couple years in maybe.
Okay.
And yeah, they would like beat me up because they're like, okay, this kid's actually good now, so I can actually
gotta
like
try a little
yeah, I
bit,
gotta
yeah,
put it on
yeah.
him.
And
But,
this was still in the MMA era for
No,
you.
Well, actually, good question. I was doing MMA and jiu-jitsu at Root Effects. So I did MMA and jiu-jitsu for I don't know, probably like 3 years or so, 4 years maybe. I was doing both. I think it was probably like 3 years. I was doing both, and then I switched from MMA to strictly jiu-jitsu, and I just focused on that. But
That's fire. I heard a story. I heard that you started out in MMA and you're starting to go against adults, and then I'm gonna say higher ups saw that these adults were, just kind of like putting it on you a little bit, and then these higher ups were like, "Nah, like that's not cool. That's not fair." And then that's what switched you from MMA to jiu-jitsu, is because they were like, "Yeah, I don't want that to happen to Juan, so we're gonna switch him so that way, he doesn't get a bloody nose or a black eye or anything like that."
oh, you heard a story?
I did.
From who? I was honestly, I have no clue.
So to piggyback off that, my question, I guess, would be what made you transition to strictly jiu-jitsu versus maybe dabbling in both or still training in both? What was there a specific reason as to why you went the jiu-jitsu route?
That's a better way of putting it.
That is a better way of putting it. But no, it was really just me falling in love with jiu-jitsu. I just gravitated towards it. I had more of a passion for it. I definitely liked
sense.
MMA, but my passion was definitely at jiu-jitsu. Plus, I honestly, I think the main thing was, obviously you can't fight till you're 18.
Exactly. So yeah, you could grapple, consistently versus, just training and not fighting.
Exactly.
For, 10
For
years or
yeah,
whatever.
just training for 10 years to finally, eventually compete and do a fight. Because I'm a really competitive person, so I wanted to I want to use the stuff I'm practicing. I'm not one of those people who just goes to practice to have fun.
Exactly.
I want to build skill to do something with it, So
And then I remember when I first started training at Jackson's.
Yeah.
And they had the cage there. And I remember you'd occasionally spar, though.
Yeah, I would.
I remember, I want to say it was one of my first days or, the first time I was in there and you were going with Jacoby Jones a lot. And,
Yeah.
that was fun to watch. Or, watching you get in the cage, eat some leg kicks and stuff. So that was a good time.
yeah.
Do you ever have aspirations of ever dabbling in MMA again, or at least sparring, or what are your feelings about that?
I guess right now I don't have any I don't have a desire
That
to
makes
fight
sense.
as of right now.
Okay.
But I'm not saying I wouldn't ever.
Exactly.
I definitely think about it maybe, but I'm really
Focus is
trying to
elsewhere.
focus. Yeah, I'm really trying to focus on jiu-jitsu and get to the level that I want to be at before I potentially do MMA also.
Right
Because
on.
I still have personal goals
Exactly.
that I have to reach, and MMA, I don't really have any MMA goals.
Of course.
So I got to
Which
make
makes
sure
sense.
I can reach my goals before I
Yeah.
try something new.
That makes sense. We'll dabble into that. I want to get into that. So what part of jiu-jitsu did you fall in love with? Was it just being able to get into a flow state? Was it learning how to submit people? What about it just gravitated you towards it?
I would say that the thing that really hooked me was once I did my first competition. That's I guess the exact moment was the first competition, because I realized how much I loved competing and just testing yourself against someone else who's trying as hard as you and training as hard as you potentially. But in terms of the mental side of it, why I gravitated towards it, I think it's I'll wait for that.
Loud little chopper.
Yeah.
I know. They's fucking. That guy fucks.
But I think, yeah, in terms of the mental side, what really I fell in love with was the depth you can go with it. Because, you can go deep with striking. Obviously, you see people like Alex Pereira and Izzy that are just insane, and they have a depth to their striking. But in jiu-jitsu, I think it's deeper even than striking. You can go further into it, and you can, I don't know, just watching it, watching two high level guys is it's kind of like a dance, but neither one is neither one is giving on purpose. It's just like they're so like fluid and just the way they flow. Like I just
Exactly.
fell in love with that. Like I guess you could say kind of like the flow state, feeling the flow state of it. And then just the endlessness of it, because, you know, I've been training for, I don't know, 12, 13 years, and I still haven't, like, I still don't feel like I know anything, you know?
Exactly.
Like-
How old were you when you first started training?
When I started
Full-time.
MMA, full-time?
Yeah, full-time jiu-jitsu.
Full-time jiu-jitsu, I was like 10 or 11 when I started full-time jiu-jitsu.
Were you like competitive in school sports at all, or was jiu-jitsu just like your avenue?
I did basketball before that briefly. I did like a season of basketball, and I did pretty well with that. But, you know, I was so young.
Yeah.
And I definitely liked it. And at one point I thought that was what I was going to pursue. But I don't know, MMA and jiu-jitsu just kind of found me. So,
Right on. That's cool.
yeah, stuck with it.
You know, earlier you spoke about, you know, you still have goals in jiu-jitsu. What are maybe your top 3 goals? Well, what are you looking to accomplish?
Really, my main goal is I just want to compete consistently at the highest level. So that would be like just going against guys who are known as the best and then consistently competing with them. You know, I don't want to like be one of those guys that like gets a high level match and then like loses and falls off or something. You know what I mean? Like I want to consistently be at that level so I can be, you know, considered one of the best with them. So that's probably my main goal. In terms of like specific competitions, getting back to PGF was one of my goals, and I just did that. I want to make ADCC at some point.
Nice.
That's probably because I'm going to do ADCC trials. It's essentially just a huge tournament, and it's the winners get into like ADCC World Championships, and trials is just the competition
Yeah,
to
exactly.
get into that.
Kind of qualify.
Yeah. So I'm going to do trials next year
Right on.
and hopefully qualify. But it's like a stupid hard competition.
Of
like,
course. Yeah, it's the best of the best.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Best of the best. Everyone does it in jiu-jitsu. Like if you're a professional, you do trials. So
So high level.
very high
athletes.
level. Oh yeah. Yep.
That's good. So we've seen your track record so far. This is your second year in PGF?
Not my second year like back to back, but my second season that I've done in PGF. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you touched on that number one goal for you is to compete at the highest level. And I'm going to speak for everybody who sees the talent that you're putting out there. We all believe that you can be up there in the highest level. Deep question for you. Do you want to be a world champion holding like a belt?
For sure, yeah. I mean, I think everyone that trains and is competitive, that's something that is on their mind, like holding some kind of big title. But I definitely think I care more about the journey too versus like just holding that title, you know?
It's all about the journey,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I'd say like that's why the goal isn't like win this title. It's like consistently compete at this level is why I chose that goal versus like win this title. Cause then it's like maybe you win it and then what? So you know,
How
it's
did
like it's a destination based goal versus like a process based goal.
Yeah. How did the PGF season go this year for you?
It was okay. I definitely feel like I could have done way better. It was I honestly mostly had draws. Like most of the matches were all draws because the way PGF works, if you don't get a submission, it just goes to draw. There's no like judge's decision. There's no points. It's just draw if you don't submit them.
So what does that mean?
So a draw, just essentially you both lost, I guess you could say, or
Okay.
neither person won. Just
Yeah.
you don't get any points for the match. And the way
Okay.
PGF works, you do all these matches. It's a round robin. This season was different. It was over 5 weeks. So a whole 5-week competition. I was in Vegas, and every week we would do 3 matches against someone on another team. So there's 4 teams, and you would just go against like 3 different people on the other teams. And then if you submit that person, you would score points. And the way you submit them would determine how many points you get. So like joint locks, breaks are 3 points. and then chokes were 6 points because they consider that like a kill. So essentially, you're competing to score the most points or score enough points to get into the playoffs and then try to win the playoffs. And since I got a lot of draws, I was just getting no points, and then I didn't make it to the playoffs. So
That makes sense. It seemed like your team really liked you. They saw the talent that you have. With that being said, you're a busy guy. You are the assistant coach, head coach. You're one of the main coaches at the gym you train at right now. But you have these aspirations of being, a world champion. So I can see how it could be, tough to balance both of them. Would you, is it something you've thought about to commit to like cross training with different gyms and just committing like 2 years and focusing on that goal and stepping away from the coaching side of your life? What are your thoughts?
no, that's actually a great question, because this is kind of like an internal battle I have all the time, because I definitely enjoy coaching, but like you said, I have goals that I have to reach. So I definitely have been having this internal battle of if I should, maybe either move elsewhere or, just focus on being an athlete completely and not coaching at all, unless, as long as I can focus on being an athlete completely, I'm sure I can do like a couple,
Of course.
like, coach a couple classes here and there, whatever. But I really want to put all my like mental effort into being an athlete, because it really does take a lot of like your mental bandwidth to coach, especially like as much as I do. And like deciding what the guys need to work on, like all that stuff takes a lot of mental bandwidth, and it doesn't leave a lot left over for being an athlete. So definitely that is pretty tough to balance being an athlete and a coach. I think other people do it, but it's more so the coaching is secondary to being an athlete. And I think for me right now, it's kind of balanced, which I would rather be more of an athlete. So it's definitely something I've been thinking about for sure.
Yeah. I mean, to compete at a high level like that, you got to train with high level grapplers as well. You can't, because Pueblo is very small. You're probably the only grappler in Pueblo who's at that high level. I mean, I don't know about you guys. You probably have a different opinion. You probably have a different opinion. But as far as like a high level, you don't see that. So for someone like you who has these dreams to be able to achieve that, I feel like you gotta, branch out of Pueblo and just go do your own thing and compete with those high level grapplers, so that way you can learn how to escape from these positions that you're like, well, I can't necessarily get that kind of training where I'm at. I have to go outside and go look for these other high level gyms to be able to achieve these different variations of defense and offense.
For sure. Yeah. There's a really common saying in, I guess really anything, really any sport or anything that you do, that you shouldn't be the best one in the room, shouldn't be the smartest one in the room, whatever it pertains to. But so, and right now I do feel like I'm at a point where I am the best one in the room, and like it's not like it's not really anyone's fault at the gym. They're just hobbyists,
Exactly.
They just don't have the same goals as me, and
Exactly.
that's fine. But yeah, definitely something that would be smart to seek out is like high level rooms and things like that. And I do cross train whenever I can. I'll run up to Wilson Bros in Springs, because they have some high level dudes. Yeah. But for sure it is pretty thin, like the amount of people that are at that level and like have the same dedication to the sport that I do, at least around here.
Me and Tommie were talking about that the other day. You are the best in the room when it comes to grappling. The gym's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Your dreams aren't. You might as well chase your dreams.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, you can always come back. It'll always be there. You'll have that experience now to be able to bring with you. But I mean, I say chase your dreams, man. Spend 2 years, spend a period of time committing to it. Get outside of the gym, get outside of Pueblo, and just go make it happen. See what happens for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely, I definitely don't, I didn't ever anticipate, just like staying in Pueblo my whole life. So, I definitely will move at some point just because, Pueblo's a small town. You want to live, you want to see what else is out there in the world. And
Yeah,
I
exactly.
do travel a lot. So there's that, like I get to travel for competitions and stuff, but it would be nice to just like be in a bigger town for a little bit, just experience more,
Yeah.
train at like a high level gym, something like that, just for a little bit. But yeah, that's definitely the internal battle right now that I've been having.
Yeah.
So I want to start off by saying, Joseph and I, we tuned in every week, every Wednesday. We watched every single one of your matches the whole season, as well as everyone else's. But, we definitely tuned in for you. And, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought you did very well, but like you alluded to, there was a lot of draws, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from my perspective, anyway, the way I saw it, you showed that you're at that level. But maybe getting those wins is kind of what Xander was saying. The difference between that draw and that win was maybe because you weren't used to being in some of those positions, right? I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw somebody take your back and threaten, you know what I mean? Or like things like that. Or, not many people can escape your heel hooks around here, versus, a lot of people. I mean, I'm sure those guys are training at that level. So, like you said, you do envision yourself leaving and, going elsewhere. Now, with that said, I also know, wrestling's a different sport, but, I know to achieve a high level there, it takes some money. It takes, of course, a lot of dedication and things like that. So I guess what are your plans on, making that next level move? Where do you envision yourself going? Is it going to be Dallas? I know you've went there a couple times, or, what do you see yourself doing to bridge that gap?
Yeah, that's a good question. And that's kind of part of the internal battle that I have with myself, because here I coach, so I can like live jiu-jitsu completely. It is definitely like you said, I don't get the training that maybe I should, but I don't have to work a normal job to make money and have to, focus on a normal job,
Exactly.
So, that's part of it. Like if I go elsewhere, I'll probably have to work a normal job and be a full-time athlete at the same time. So
yeah, that's a grind.
Yeah, that's part of the battle. I mean, it's definitely something I'd be willing to do. It's not like, it's not like I wouldn't do it. It's just like me trying to weigh what is like what would be more beneficial to me, like leaving and working a normal job, being kind of like, I guess you could say split focused, because I'm not like completely in jiu-jitsu, but in a way I'm already split focused, because it's like coaching athletes. So, but yeah, that's the battle I have with myself in my head. What the question you just asked me is what I ask myself every day.
And that has to be a tough balance. I can't imagine. But from my perspective, it looks like you do have a lot of support at the gym, as far as like Josh and your dad, and they want to see you hit that high level too. So I guess my question is, and I think maybe your answer will give me some more insight on how to navigate, Joseph's stuff, right? Is, you said you're willing to dedicate yourself. You're willing to do these things. Now, you want to do ADCC trials next year, right? So I would imagine within this next year, you're potentially going to make that choice, correct?
Like to
get that higher level training, to be prepped for that ADCC tournament.
I mean, I don't know if I do decide to do it, I don't know if it'll be that soon before, because it's going to be early next year.
Okay.
So that would be like, like an expensive thing already to do.
I see what you're saying.
So like moving and doing that would be tough to
Of course.
I mean, obviously there's always sponsors and stuff, but it's not always like super easy to just get like a crap load of sponsors, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
especially like you said, especially if it's early next year, you're like, hey man, I got 3 months to make this move. So I feel you.
So I don't know exactly what month it'll be in, but because unfortunately for me, they haven't announced like the date yet, but they said early next year. So
Okay.
like, I don't know if that means January. I don't know if that means February,
I got you.
but so yeah, I don't think it would be possible to do it like between then and now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so if I did it, it would definitely be after trials,
Right on.
which,
Okay.
which, you know, like you said, I'm not going to have the preparation at like a top level gym or anything, but you know, I've been doing it like this,
You know,
so we'll see.
and one question I had. So one thing I noticed when at this last PGF season, I thought your wrestling looked great. You didn't do a whole lot of it, but when you did, I thought you were probably one of the better wrestlers out there. And I know, you know, we talked about how, you know, at our gym, there's not super high level jiu-jitsu guys, but we do got some tough wrestlers in the room. And I think, you know, your work with Augie and everyone and Diggs and stuff, it's paying off. And I think it's showing. Is there a reason, aside from it being very difficult and taxing on the cardio, but is there a reason you didn't wrestle a little more?
Well, I mean, so my initial game plan was to like let's go. So the very beginning, before I go to week 1, my initial game plan is to wrestle like the whole time.
Exactly.
I'm thinking like, I'm probably going to wrestle. I'm not going to sit guard too much because my legs kept getting attacked.
Of course.
And so I figured if I can get on top and wrestle, I wouldn't get my legs attacked as much. And then the day before the first week, or no, was it day before or 2 days before? I don't remember if it was a day or 2 days before, but I freaking popped my knee in training with one of my teammates, and I could like barely walk on it. Like it was so inflamed. Like I don't think I did anything like crazy, but I definitely did something, and it was like so inflamed that I had to like limp on it. I couldn't walk on it right. So I was like, all right, so I probably can't wrestle because I'm just gonna like get taken down instantly. I couldn't move dynamically very well.
I feel you.
So that first day I had to change my game plan completely. So I just played guard.
Right on.
But once I started feeling better, that's why you started seeing me wrestle more at the end, because I was like, all right, now I can move on it, and I feel like I can wrestle now.
And did you feel like you probably had some of the better wrestling?
I think so, yeah.
Because
I mean,
that's what it looked like to me. You know, you know, when you did start wrestling, I thought you had a clear advantage. You know,
yeah, I didn't feel too I didn't feel too bad wrestling. I didn't feel like anyone was ever like exposing anything
exactly.
like on the feet where I was like, oh, this is
Yeah,
going to put me in a bad spot. This
exactly,
is dangerous.
exactly.
Like,
And I didn't see a lot of people sprawling on you either. You know,
Yeah.
you were getting the takedowns you were looking for. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, my wrestling is like really hand fight heavy, so I don't shoot too often. There was a couple of times that I did shoot, but a lot of the stuff that I was doing was like hand fighting or wrestling up from like
Makes
guard.
sense.
Like if I would like, let's say they take me down or something and I don't really fight it, I just sit guard and then I come up and wrestle up into like an arm drag or something
Yeah.
like that. And that was like a lot of what I was doing. Plus I like a lot of judo tosses and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I saw that
so,
one,
yeah,
man. It was clean. It was
the
a
wizard
clean little
kick,
hip. Yeah,
Uchimata. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I love the Uchimata.
That was nice.
When you go into these high level matches, do you already think of a game plan, or do you have to constantly switch your game plan?
I definitely already have a game plan beforehand. I don't like going in with nothing, because then it's just like, I don't know. It's like, I'm sure for this podcast, you had a couple things that you wanted to touch on, right? Like you had a sort of a game plan. You didn't just like come in and like blank mind. It's like, all right, here we are.
You know, you'll be surprised.
Okay, well, I don't know what to say about that, but I definitely had a game plan.
Now, do you watch like film on your opponents like prior to the season? Like, how did you come up with that game plan?
Yeah, I do watch film.
Right on.
I usually, so it kind of depends on the competition. For, let's say, PGF specifically, I was able to watch film because I know who's in.
Of course.
I know who I'm going
Of
against.
course.
In some other competitions, like maybe, I don't know, one that like let's say ADCC trials, it's a huge bracket. You know, a couple people you might go against, but you can't study.
No, exactly.
You can't study like hundreds of
64
people.
guys or
like,
whatever. Yeah.
It's like 300 people or something. You can't study all those people. So it's kind of like more so the game plan for me is always just building on my strengths
Exactly.
and my weaknesses.
I like
is
that.
kind of how I think about it. But if I do have a chance to like, I know my opponents every week and I can game plan each week for that person, then I'll do a little bit of that also.
Right
like
on.
I know I'm going against like a leg lock heavy guy. Maybe I'll wrestle and
Yeah.
I won't play guard. Just stuff
makes
like
sense,
just
yeah.
little changes.
Right on.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to stray from my strengths.
Of course
to-
not.
Just because they're good at something.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right on.
With that being said, your discretion on this, because I know people are going to tune in. What are your strengths and your weaknesses?
I'd say I have I'd say I have a really good guard. So like people trying to pass my guard, I think it's really like dynamic. People I have a my guard retention is really solid. So people have a really hard time passing, and the flip side of that is I think my weakness is my leg lock defense, because historically that's honestly I've only been caught with an upper body submission like once in the last like couple years. I think like every time I've lost, it's been to a leg lock, which is kind of funny because I've gotten a lot of leg locks as well in the last couple years. So it's kind of weird. And I think it's what you guys were talking about, like the training room I'm in, I do get to attack legs a lot, but I don't ever have too much of a threat of like re-attacks too much, you know? Like, I mean, occasionally I'll get to roll Josh, and Josh has pretty good leg attacks, but it's
Yeah.
not like, you know, I don't have like super high level leg lockers that I was going against at PGF. Like those
Exactly.
guys are like
Yeah.
top level leg
Yeah, and
lockers.
I could kind of tell, like, sometimes you're like, damn, you know, I could tell that was a little different for you for sure. Because a couple times, man, you snatched a heel up and I thought you had it. And, you know, these guys just, you know, they worked through the process and they got out, and had to be a little frustrating, I'm sure.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, even Josh has said that, you know, it's even a battle just not to be submitted by you. And that's coming from another black belt who's been doing this for years, who I would say you would be like the protege of the gym. So coming from like a high level grappler in Pueblo in Colorado from him, I mean, that says something. That kind of says like you have surpassed people in Colorado, and now you're moving on to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, he's brought me up from when I started. So, I mean, besides that like year or two of MMA or whatever, but, you know, he's pretty much brought me up from when I started in jiu-jitsu. And he definitely gave me the platform to become what I am today. So super
awesome.
grateful for that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, Josh is a great dude, you know, and, you know, I always thank the gym for a lot of things, you know. It helped me through a lot of things. It's helped Joseph, you know. He went from, you know, a little chubby, lazy kid to, you know, he's trying to hit that. He's trying to follow your path. You know, he wants to be a high level athlete. He has aspirations of, you know, maybe coaching at the gym one day, you know, competing at jiu-jitsu at a high level, wrestling at a high level, you know, but none of that would be possible without you guys. You know, you guys really made a huge impact on our lives. And I think, you know, like I said, we tuned in every week to watch you, you know, no matter what Joseph was doing, you know, even ditched a couple practices to be like, hey, well, let's see how Juan does, you know? So that was really cool. And I think it was super motivating for him too.
That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool to hear. I like to hear little Josephine reaching for those higher aspirations, and also watching, you can call it film because you're watching someone else, you know, compete at this level. And now you're kind of like thinking in your head, like, oh, okay, this is something I should pursue, or this is something I need to work on. So a lot plays into that, but it's always cool to see. You know, I've known Joe for, I don't know, I've known you, Tommy, for, I was thinking like 7 years.
Probably,
like, it was
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it has been a while
And
now.
then to see Joe from like a little chubby Joe to now, I'm like, God damn, like, has it really been that long? Time flies. It's wild, you know?
Yeah, seeing him now in like super good shape. He's a hard worker. It's awesome.
Yeah, definitely, you know, and you know, just kind of touch on it real quick. So for the first time ever, I've never had to deal with this, but I want to say it was Thursday morning. You know, I got a call from a recruit.
He had his period.
But just based on like Joseph's academic, you know, they're, you know, a pretty good university was reaching out, kind of just inquiring about, you know, what his goals are and things like that. And then later on that night, they reached out to him personally, and that was real motivating for him too. You know, he goes, man, like, it is possible. Like, you know, I am doing the right things, and, you know, it's cool to see. You know, it's cool to see, and I feel super lucky that, you know, when we got involved in all this, I have a friend in Springs actually. He goes, Yeah, there's a couple gyms in Pueblo. He goes, but if you guys are serious and you want to actually like compete and be good, he's like, you got to train with Josh. He's like, and he didn't even know Josh that well. They just did some MMA back in the day together. But he told me, he goes, he's legit. So sure enough, we go to Jackson's, we join, and the rest is history. So that was super cool.
Yeah, even though Josh is a really good jiu-jitsu practitioner, like he knows how to fight. He's been in some MMA fights.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, he knows like how to go from standing to grappling, and that's something I see jiu-jitsu now as more like a sport competitive kind of level, and it's geared away from, traditional like just closing the gap and starting from standing to going on the ground, which isn't bad. I personally, I mean, because I do it for different reasons. I would want to know how to defend myself in a situation if it ever came down to it, cross your fingers. I don't necessarily want to do it to compete, but if there's ever a situation where I'm in that I feel threatened and I'm like, okay, I got to kind of engage in a healthy but also violent way, I would want to know how to do it standing. And then if it came down to, submissions or going to the ground, you feel confident doing that as well. So with that being said, I know you like the sport aspect of it, but do you value like the traditional aspect of it as well?
Definitely. I mean, you have to pay respect where it's due, where the guys who brought the sport up to what it is. And in terms of like the self-defense aspect of it, like you said, I definitely feel like I'd be okay if someone, tried to step up to me and, I don't know, rob me or something stupid, You
You definitely would be.
I'd be all right, just going against untrained people is like playing with a little kid, like it's
Very,
not
very true.
Yeah,
So,
but you've also been training since they started like doing that traditional level to now that sport level. Do you guys ever want to incorporate more of the traditional level where it's like, okay, we're standing, you close the distance, you shoot in when, there's space available, and then if you take it to the ground, this is what you do, instead of like strictly training at that sport competitive level aspect per se?
So I would like to hop in on that real quick, because for the blue belt test, it was a lot of that.
Yeah.
It was a lot of, hey, if somebody grabs you, this is what you do. This is how you close the gap. If need be, throw an elbow strike, or, I think Josh does a real good job of emphasizing like, hey, man, don't be pulling guard in the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're not trying to like do jiu-jitsu at, the Safeway parking lot if you're getting mugged. You're either going to implement a top game or you're going to get the fuck out of there. You're going to, create the space to leave.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, as far as the blue belt test and things like that, I think that's where you learn a lot of that. The things that are practical.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, and I think even though if let's say we are training sports stuff, even though we're training sports stuff, like who's really stupid enough to sit guard in a street fight? Like people always make that argument, like they watch a jiu-jitsu match, they'll see someone sit guard, they're like, oh, that won't work in a street fight, buddy. And I'm like, bro, nobody's stupid enough to do that in a street fight.
Yeah.
They're going to double leg you. They're going to get him out, and they're going to hold your wrist to the mat like you're a little kid.
Yeah.
And laugh at you.
Yeah.
So like, it's not like sport jiu-jitsu doesn't make you prepared for defending yourself, because you're learning how to control people regardless. You learn about, this is kind of cliche and funny because like people who don't know what they're talking about usually talk about leverage and stuff like that. But like you learn about leverage and things like that. So like doing sport is gonna prepare you for self-defense. Also, you don't have to learn like specific self-defense things that like some other martial arts might teach you that are kind of weird. I don't want to, I honestly don't care. I'll dog on other martial arts.
Yeah.
Like karate, they're like, we're going to do this like 8 attacker kata where you chop like this way and then this way. And then you, whatever,
Yeah, none of that's practical when, someone throwing a 1-2 or running straight
someone
towards
double
you.
legs you or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And I'm not sure if you're aware of the situation last night at the UFC event.
Oh my God.
And I got a dog on him a little bit. So he's getting socked up and it looks like he tried to like, he fell on his back for a leg and started getting stomped out by 8 guys. And I'm like, man, God, I hate that guy like social media wise, 'cause sometimes like represents jiu-jitsu, which is fucking, that guy's a joke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
But-
for sure.
But I'm like, yeah, it's people like that that give the sport a bad name, you know?
I
Because
know,
I'm
yeah.
like, I could tell you one thing, I would never, you know, I'm not going for a
Nobody's-
heel hook if someone's
yeah.
punched me in the back of the head.
Especially in
Yeah.
a group fight like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
like,
that, I mean, that was
getting jumped
come
and you
on.
go for a heel hook, just get your head stomped on.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
like, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
So,
That's fair.
To go back on what you said though, I'd say in terms of like tradition and sport, I'd say I've adopted more of the sport side, and Josh is more of like the traditional side, and he values that a lot. And just because of my personal goals, I'm definitely more like, I value the sport side, and I care. I don't really care about learning self-defense because
It's not
in my
practical
way,
to you.
it's not practical to me, and I feel like I can defend myself already. And
Exactly.
I control people every day, you know, like I'm training self-defense when I'm doing sport, but
Yeah.
my mind
I
is at
agree.
sport. I'm like trying to build skill,
I agree with that.
reach a high level.
Have you been in an altercation before?
I have like once in like middle school, I just like somebody headlocked me, and I just like hip tossed them and landed on them,
Oh shit.
and they started crying. And they
Oh shit.
they told the teacher, and then the teacher's like, "No, I seen that. You did it first." So I didn't get in trouble.
That's funny.
But that's pretty much about it. I mean, I feel like if you know you can defend yourself, you're more likely to like put the ego aside and just be like, all right, bro, just go ahead. You can go ahead and line, whatever. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I'm glad you say that, because do you think jiu-jitsu has taught you how to diffuse potential altercations?
yeah, because it's like, why get into an altercation? Like, first of all, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, even if I am trained, I'm not stupid enough to think that I can just, like, it's going to go my way every time just because I have more training than somebody. Like, what if somebody pulls out a knife and stabs me, or pulls out a gun? You know, like, there's
Yeah.
always, like, I feel like I'm not gonna put a label on all untrained people, but it's like a common belief that, like, you know, you hear that saying, like, oh, I just see red, bro. Like, you don't
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen. Like, whenever I get into a fight, like, you got to realize, like, everyone thinks the same way, and only one person comes out on top, or potentially you both are all messed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, it's better to just like back off and like put the ego aside.
I
like,
agree.
be the bigger man.
That's a good point of view. So you went from starting out in MMA jiu-jitsu at 12 years old, right?
Somewhere around there. Yeah, I think I started MMA like at 9, but jiu-jitsu around 11, 12, something like that. Yeah.
And then over the years, you know, when I first saw it, you got your purple belt and then you started teaching. Does that, correct me if I'm wrong?
No, I started teaching actually when I was like an orange belt.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
okay.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
teaching when I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like other, I'd imagine like the kids' classes back then. right?
Primarily, yeah. I
Obviously,
got
yeah.
my primarily like helping with the kids, but I mean, I'd say probably around when I got my blue belt, I started helping with the adults a lot more.
Yeah.
I would do like, some people would ask me for privates and stuff.
Yeah,
and I would do
I
privates,
remember
but-
that. I want to say that was about the time I joined. I want to say
Yeah.
you were a blue belt. You know,
probably,
so
yeah.
somewhere around there. Because that was when Art was still around doing the
Yeah.
MMA and things like
Yeah,
that.
and then
so.
I would run. He would want to do jujitsu some days, so he
Yeah,
would
I
like
remember.
ask me to like
Yeah,
show some
yep.
stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's probably around when I like really started. But I think I really started running like most of the coaching at the gym when I was, I don't know if it was at brown belt or black belt, when Josh took a little bit of a step back and kind of let me just take the lead.
I want to say brown belt because I kind of I remember that transition where he's like, you know what, I kind of want to spend some time with my family now.
Yeah.
Which, you know, in my opinion, I think that's awesome. You know, I think that's kind of the reason you start a business, or you know, that's kind of maybe the ultimate goal is to be able to take that step back and kind of reap the rewards and see everything grow from the sideline. I mean, and he's still in the gym still.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's, don't get
absolutely.
me wrong, but you know, I think yeah, you're right. That is kind of when I noticed you stepped up a lot more, and you know, you and your dad, as a matter of fact, you know, you
Yeah.
guys started running a lot more classes and things like that.
Yeah, Kate as well. She's like kind of my
True.
assistant in a way.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Funny story. I want to get into the teaching afterwards, but your dad won, I don't know, fourth, second,
Fourth. Yep.
fourth. I'm not too sure.
Fourth.
But big one, let's just say that.
Yeah,
He was
that's what
like
they call him. It's his
little
street
one
name.
used to be the enforcer when every new person came into the gym, he would just put it on him, and if he made it, you made it. If you didn't, well, you didn't. But even like not like adults, like he was telling me, he would put it on adults. Like he was the enforcer. Like if
Yeah.
you came into the gym, you would grapple with Juan first, and if you made it, congratulations.
It was more so like enforcer in a way that like if this person has a big ego and they're like, we ask them if they have experience, people will tell us like, oh yeah, I've been in street fights. Like, bro, that's not experience. Come on.
I was gonna say, remember that one guy at Jackson's? He's like, I'm like 298-0 in the street, and you were like, okay, class starts at 6.
Yeah, I'm like standing at the front desk, like, okay,
You're like,
crazy homeless
do I
guy.
put that down? Or
Did I write that on the paper? Yeah. It's
That's hilarious.
It's like, so have you done an MMA fight or anything? He's like, nah, just street fights. Like,
Yeah,
all right.
that was hilarious.
That's funny. So what kind of like switched from, I mean, you also are training, but now you're teaching. Is it just something like you kind of fell in love with?
Yeah, I mean, really, it just kind of happened. Like, that's kind of the natural progression, I guess, as an athlete, and me being like young and being able to not get a real job and do like coach jiu-jitsu. Like, that's kind of a dream come true. Like, my first job was teaching jiu-jitsu, and that's the only job I've had. You know,
Damn, that's crazy.
I
That's
haven't
cool.
had to like work at Walmart or
Yeah,
I started young and I stayed consistent. So, I was one of the guys who was still there when they were able to hire me. I was the one that stood out because I was there from when they started, you know,
Exactly.
so they chose to hire me and I've been getting paid for it. So that's kind of how it started. And then, I'd say initially I did it just, I didn't really know what I was getting into. I just knew I knew I liked jiu-jitsu and this is a way I could keep doing it and get money for it. So I did
that
it. And
makes
then
sense.
once I started, I realized that I really liked it and I kind of fell in love with it after I started, I'd say.
of course.
Especially once I started taking the lead a little more and like being able to make like the decisions about what we're going to work on and just what we're going to work on and what the guys need to work on. Like from what I see, that's when I really was like,
That's
this
pretty
is pretty cool. Like I can really run the way that these guys are going to be built up. Like I can build their foundation, you know. That's kind of like my job.
Yeah.
I see a lot of little kids that in the gym that, two specifically, I forget their names, but you know who I'm talking about. The two ones that are taking initiative.
Frank the
Frank-
Tank.
Frank the
Frank
Tank
and Antonio,
and
probably.
yeah, those two that are taking initiative and actually starting to kind of follow along in your footsteps. So outside of those two, though, when you said I kind of like build a plan based on like what they need to work on and what like I kind of want to like make a decision on, do you make that plan based solely off like what you're seeing and what people need to work on, or is it like a curriculum based you go by?
I'd say we used to be more curriculum heavy. Now, so it's been kind of weird. So it was curriculum based, like heavy, but the curriculum was really old. So once I took the lead, I started trying to implement like newer, more, what do you call it? More, I don't know, less.
Kind of more so like that new wave of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember when I first started and Josh was still kind of running everything. And I don't know if you recall, but so one of the first submissions like I was able to do and that I kind of fell in love with was that like straight ankle, right? And I remember he used to get pissed because he's like, you know, you suck at everything else, like stop straight ankling everyone. And then you were kind of the complete
Fucking
opposite.
bastard.
Yeah. And then you were like the complete opposite. You're like, dude, like it's something you found now. You need to find a way to like perfect it and implement it in different ways.
Yeah, like funnel to it or
yeah,
something.
versus like, well, first you need to learn guard and first, you know, you should be able to hit triangles, like, you know,
Yeah.
or whatever. So like, that's when I started noticing when you started coming in a little more and taking the reins, it was more so like that new wave of jiu-jitsu. Like, hey, you guys need to learn how to defend a heel hook, especially if you plan on competing. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, this is what's going on now. So
And it's not like they're not learning basics still. Like
No, of
obviously
cour-
you
of
need,
course. No,
you
of
have to
course,
have
of
that.
course.
It's, and when I say like the curriculum was old, it was just like outdated stuff from like 10, 20 years ago,
yeah,
you know? So like,
from like just only gi things.
yeah,
like,
exactly.
essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. So now like I still teach real basic
Of course,
stuff, like
of course.
to the beginner guys.
Like
It's
you said, you
just
have to.
It's just more to date, basic stuff. And then you said something about like do I teach like based on the person, or I think you said based on the person, or like curriculum based is what you said.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly kind of getting into like a curriculum base again for like new people.
Of course.
So I have like, these are the basic stuff that they need to know. And
Yeah.
then once you have that good foundation and good base, you can start branching and building your own game more so is like what I'll do. And then I'll notice them like start to gravitate towards things. And then they'll like even talk to me about it and be like, hey, I really like this, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And then I start to like realize which way they're going with it. And then I'll pull them aside and like teach them things
Right
that
on.
would relate to that so they could follow that path. Like, Frank's got a pretty nasty front headlock. Like he can, if he gets to it, he's probably going to finish you. So like, I'll teach him stuff to build onto that. And then Antonio, he has a good front headlock too.
Yeah.
Like for some reason that just kind of happened. They both got like a really good front headlock, but, I'd say Antonio also has like a good guard. So like I'll teach him like a lot of triangle stuff and
Right on.
things like that.
Yeah,
because
he's built for it too.
yeah, he's built for it. Exactly.
Full
It's
on
like his
lanky.
body type.
Damn.
But yeah, Frank's like a wrestling type. He likes to be on top. He likes to loose pass.
And
He's
shout
like
out to
cartwheeling
Frank.
over.
Yeah,
He's going-
shout out to
yeah.
Frank,
I know.
man. He's been putting work in at Steel City, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I've
hell
seen
yeah.
that kid the last, I'd say, month maybe, just putting work in. Most days he's the nail, but lately, he's been getting. He's been the hammer. I saw a kid who he's definitely was bigger than Frank. And, I'm not sure if they're the same age or whatever, but, they were doing this drill where essentially you're working to break another person, right? And Frank was that person. And to me, it looked like they were almost trying to bully Frank. And this kid made the mistake of like running at Frank, like standing straight up. What do you think happened? Boom, hip toss. You know what I mean? And then Frank put it on him and I was like, yeah, dude.
Nice.
I was like,
That's
cool.
what's up.
So, he's like definitely earning the respect on the mat,
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to improve his game tenfold.
sure.
He's going to be a killer next year as a freshman.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm pumped for him for this 8th grade middle school year. I think he definitely has a chance to win a city title for sure.
That's
I
awesome.
agree. Yeah. That's one of the things that's another reason why it's so hard to step away from coaching. Cause that's like another reason why I love it so much is like building up those kids or just anyone who's really willing to like give it their all. Like just those people specifically are like really, it's really hard to like step away from those
Exactly.
people because
Yeah.
I like, it's kind of crazy to me that like the kids at the gym or just anyone at the gym is like motivated or inspired by the stuff that I do, because really I don't see it that way. I'm just like, it just like happened. I don't even know how to explain it. Like I just consistently did this and it just started happening. Like I just started getting better and I started competing at bigger competitions and getting invited and stuff like that. And like people will like tell me like, oh, my kid like looks up to you. And I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Like I'm just some random dude.
Well, I think you actually just touched on it though. I think for the kids or adults or whoever, it's like to see that consistency, because I think that's the hardest thing. And everyone talks about what the blue belt blues,
Yeah.
they kind of fall off after getting that blue belt after dedicating 2 to 4 years or whatever it takes, And I think like the kids, they see that you're doing this every day. Every day you're competing every time you get the chance to. You're at 3 classes a day sometimes, and you're making these game plans, and you can tell that, you do put your all into the coaching because you do care. Like you said, you'll pull people to the side. You're like, hey, dude, you got a good front headlock. Like, how can we make it better? And I think a lot of kids don't see that just in day-to-day life, let alone like a sport.
Yeah.
Pueblo's not necessarily known for super high level athletes or, we're not sending people to the NBA and the NFL. So to see you almost on a world stage, you're just about there competing with, these dudes who are competing at UFC BJJ now. I think that's a huge eye opener that it is possible, but
Yeah.
how are they going to get there? Consistency. And you're showing that every day to these kids, to the adults, to anyone who's aspiring to find that next level.
With seeing like Antonio and Frank the Tank do this stuff and kind of follow in your footsteps, what are some of the emotions you feel?
It makes me super happy that they're deciding to do without pressure. Like they're deciding to do what I like to do, and they're like following in my footsteps. It makes me super happy. Like I can't even express how happy it makes me to see them do it. And like, especially when I see them like scrapping in the gym and they're giving it their all. I love that. I love when they're scrapping.
Damn, are we about to see a tear right now? Huh?
No tear.
No tears. He's a man.
Nah.
To the fullest. Damn. That's awesome.
But yeah.
No, yeah,
I love that.
and I definitely feel that. Like coming up with my son. And I feel it was for me. I had to learn how to kind of balance it all. Like versus like I obviously want the best for him, but I wanted him to also like put that work in to be the best. And at first, it was pressure. Like he liked going to jiu-jitsu and things like that. I never had to force him to go to practice, but I had to force him to try.
To work,
Yeah,
exactly.
and so finding that balance of like, dude, like I'm not just bringing you here to like make friends. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be a purpose. And I feel that, last year as a freshman, you wrestled varsity all year, but it was hard. It was a hard like mental time for him. He took a lot of losses. And I was hard on him, and I felt like I had to take a step back and be like, hey, is this what you want to do? I had to kind of balance out coach father thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm super pumped about this year because he's asking to go to these extra practices.
Self-motivated.
He's running, he's lifting weights in his room. He's asking to go to pack, and it's like, okay, cool. Well, I know that nothing but good's going to come out of that kind of work. You know what I mean? And again, I think you were a huge catalyst in that, like him seeing you compete against these high level guys. It's like, well, like he told me, he goes like, if Juan can do it, I could do it. He goes, I started when I was younger than he is.
Exactly.
So I could at the very least be as good as him if I put the work in. He said
sure.
that. And it's like, yeah. And same with Frank and same with Antonio. Like, they started way before you ever started. So feasibly by the time they're 25,
they're gonna be monsters.
Yeah,
dude.
they're gonna be putting it on you.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. No, but that's the goal, right? As a coach, like, and that's the way that's how the sport grows through the generation.
That's
Every
right.
generation under you gets better as long as you pass along the knowledge and the whatever the training
Exactly.
training rituals, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
As long as you pass along that stuff, the generation under you should be better than you were.
No,
So-
exactly. That's the whole
and
goal.
They definitely are. Like Frank, Antonio, they're way ahead where I was when I was,
Of course.
like 12, 13.
Exactly.
They're going to
Insane.
be, by the time they're 18, I wouldn't be surprised if by the time they're 18, they're as good as I am now.
No, of course. And like
Absolutely.
you said, that's the goal. And there was something I kind of want to backtrack a little bit. There's something I'm just interested to see if you got any stories. So, we kind of talked about your dad being a gym enforcer at one point, and
He was the gym
oh
enforcer.
yeah,
Yeah.
sorry about that. But
Get it straight, Tommie.
hey, your dad has done it too. I've seen it.
He's
Yeah.
definitely
Seen it.
done it too, dude.
So,
Yes, he's definitely done it.
But with that said, so you've been in it a lot longer than I have. Do you have any specific stories, or has there been a lot of people with ego that you guys had to put in check? I mean, personally, I've seen, I want to say 3 in my time there, like that I've personally witnessed. You guys had to kind of, let them know. But, well, what about, your point of view? Has there been a lot since you started?
Dude, no, you have no idea. There's been way more than 3.
Oh, no, of course.
No,
yeah.
yeah. No, there's been so many.
What's the funniest story?
Probably Xander coming in. No, I'm just
Damn.
Xander came in. He had this big ego. He's like,
Shit.
bro, I just wrecked my car. I'm bad.
Fuck.
It's like I'm a 204,
monster, dude.
I'm 204 in the streets.
I wrecked my car into a tree. That tree didn't stand a chance. He
Yeah.
said. No,
I thought we were going a different route, but continue.
I'm just kidding. No, Xander was never that guy. I'm trying to think of a specific story that would be like a good one.
I got one.
You got one?
I got one.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and name drop him. But Jacob, Bald Jacob.
Oh, okay.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can remember 2 instances, right? This guy would always just do these ridiculously, like, not even like jiu-jitsu moves. He was just trying to like hurt people, right?
Yeah.
And he had this big talk about how, he trained from age, 14 to 25 and then took, a 10-year break. And now he's back as a white belt and, all this stuff. And it's like, okay, cool. But I remember one time, I want to say it was Diggs. Diggs had his back. Ooh. And they were grappling, and he just grabs Diggs's toes and just like rips him apart. And like,
keep in mind that's not legal at all.
No, yeah. And what a dick move. And Diggs put it on him, and then I remember I want to say your dad's ankle was giving him some trouble at one time, and he told Jacob kind of like, oh, be easy or don't attack this, and he kept going after it, and your dad just put it on him, and I never saw him again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that being funny because I remember Diggs was like, he was pretty new to jiu-jitsu at the time, and he's like, is that like, what was that?
Yeah, they call that the toe splitter, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
right?
he just grabbed his toes and just like ripped him apart.
The whooshy toe hold,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
No, there's been a lot of stuff like that. I mean, there are some pretty funny ones with my dad just because, I mean, for those of you watching, he's a big dude. He's probably like, I don't know, 240 something, 260. I might be giving
280?
No. Yeah, 300. I mean, we're getting there. We're getting closer.
I'm joking.
I'm not. But, no, he's a big dude. So like, and he's one of those dudes. He's a big dude, but he's not gentle about it. Like he's gonna put all his weight on.
He's
you,
all pressure.
He's gonna be a jerk on purpose.
Yeah,
like that's what he does.
Where you can't breathe and your life is just sucked out of you, and you're like, why am I here? It sucks.
Yeah, Xander's had it firsthand, so
many times.
I've seen it.
We all have. Jeez, man, I remember when I first started Alan. Oh my gosh, I don't know how Alan. I always got partnered with him or whatever.
God, you guys did partner up a lot.
He would just beat the brakes off me, and then and I wouldn't even try. And I remember one time specifically, he's like, if you don't start trying, he's like, I'm just not gonna roll with you anymore. He's like, fucking hand fight and shit. So,
oh my God,
that's where I learned the hand fighting stuff. Shout out to Alan. But man, he used to fuck me up and still does. You know what I mean? But I'm just like, God, he would just take my back and beat the brakes off me for 5-10 minutes. And I'm like,
to carry into that, and then we'll go into another topic. But yeah, me and you have talked about this numerous times, and I've spoken with you and Josh about this numerous times. But you gotta, I guess, compete. You gotta grapple with these like colored belts, these blue belts, purple belts, black belts. You can't just grapple with these white belts all the time, or else you're not going to be comfortable in these situations. So going with people like Alan, Juan,
Will. Shout out to old man Will.
Let's leave his name out of this for work-related purposes. But yeah, people are like in these levels. Oh my God, yeah, I'm just so uncomfortable, and it's like. But at the same time, like, how are you going to get better? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to get better just rolling with white belts, but people like, Juan, No Name, Carrick, fucking Alan, Jesus Christ. And then, Alan's like, you got to fight, man. Like, you got to, like, try. I'm like, dude. All right.
You broke me. Is that what you want to hear?
And then Carrick especially, like, he's
wrist lock king.
He's gonna size you up when you're grappling with him, and like if you don't try to do something, like he's just gonna put it on you. So you gotta, I mean, at least try, give some type of effort, but it's so freaking hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, God damn it. Now I'm stuck under him for fucking until he lets me out from underneath him.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I remember when I probably the first year and a half I trained, I could only hit the lunch class. And I was the only white belt.
Yeah.
And
it just stacked,
and I remember just getting fucked up every day. And I remember like, God, I was like, dude, I suck. And then finally when I was able to go to like the evening class and there was other white belts and I was like, oh, cool. Like my first submission, I like was able to like submit people or like get on top. I'm like, oh, this is what jiu-jitsu is about.
Is awesome.
Yeah, I was like, God, man. So that,
yeah, that's funny. That's the lunch class is always a good class to go to for that.
Yeah. For the record, I try my best to just be as mean as possible to those big guys that are mean to you guys.
Thank you.
Because somebody's got to do it, right?
Thank you.
Somebody's
got the enforcer you are. Juan.
That's what I got to do, dude. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm doing it to Alan still. He's been coming in. He's all out of shape. He's all fat. Like, I'm just going to run around him. He's going to get tired.
Yeah. He'll get tired eventually. That's so hilarious.
Alan.
Let's get off the topic about jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu's gay. It can't stop a bullet. I'm just kidding.
Good point.
Don't hurt me, okay? All jokes But I do want to go into, because you also have different hobbies outside of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I have a lot of hobbies.
You do, but the two I want to go into is like your podcast that you had, but that also plays into the other one where you like do photography, videography, and you're really good at it. Like your editing is like like not amateur. Like you look at these, like you have over like a 3-month period, you were able to get 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. Granted, it was a jiu-jitsu base, so there's an audience for that.
Yeah.
But also like your thumbnails, the way you like make these shorts and these reels are like,
Yeah, those are funny.
I'm like, damn, like these are good, dude. So like
making Augie a star.
you
Yeah.
making Augie a star,
Yeah.
making like Tony and Frank the Tank stars, but so like why did you stop your podcast?
I'd say the biggest reason was so my uncle was my co-host, and it was kind of hard to line up our schedules, and like
Yeah.
so it was kind of hard to like, you know, always be able to do it every week. We were doing it weekly, so it was pretty tough to stay consistent with it, and it was just another thing to add to the workload.
Of
You know,
course,
That's fair.
of course.
that's kind of why I stopped doing
Because
that.
of the workload?
Mhm,
Do you
yeah.
think you'll ever dive back into that?
I do, yeah.
Cool.
I did enjoy it. I do think I would do it again for sure.
and
It
if
was
you need,
fun.
And if you need another co-host, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I know who to hit up.
Hey, yeah, dude, my schedule's pretty open.
Damn, you're
All
gonna
right.
steal my co-host over
I'm
here.
I might have
fuck.
to still.
I could co-host both.
He's
I
like,
said,
who's gonna
open
pay?
schedule. Open
There
schedule.
can only be one. Here's
gonna
the
pay
gun.
more?
Here's the gun, guys. Ready, set, go. So, what about like your content creation? Because there's money behind that, and you're getting like thousands of views. Like one of your videos got over 60,000 views, and
Oh,
you
wow.
have like, I don't know. I last time I checked, it was like over 5, but a small number of videos. But they got a shit ton of views related about jiu-jitsu. Again, there's an audience, but at the same time, like, do you think you'll ever dive into that? Like
YouTube and
yeah, like actually like commit and be because let's say this doesn't work out, or you go down to that high level route and you're documenting it like all these other people are, like that one jiu-jitsu practitioner who wears the glasses and he
Craig
looks like a
Jones.
nerd,
Oh, Musanechi.
oh,
Mikey.
Musamechi.
Mikey. But you know, they're documenting this, and
Yeah.
now they got like all this content. And I mean, you can also apply that with your own and create another revenue source for you, because there's such an audience and there's so many people watching. Like that one where you did about Gordon Ryan, it was like, this is how like Gordon Ryan sets up his moves. Like
Yeah.
people watch that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like you have also another opportunity to move on that, you know?
For sure. I think with the YouTube thing, I think the way that it grew that fast was a little bit of luck, to be honest, because I mean, I knew going in that, like, I did some research on like what works, what titles are working, things like that.
Exactly.
And Gordon Ryan is always the talk of the town in jiu-jitsu, especially then. So I was like, all right, this is what Gordon Ryan taught me. And it wasn't a lie. I learned it from his instructionals. And it was just going over stuff that he commonly does. And yeah, a little bit of luck involved in that. And one of my
I'd say it's
videos,
luck.
I mean, with content creation, it is a
Yeah,
bit of
a
luck.
lot.
You're
little
being
bit.
so modest right
A
now.
bit
You
of
just
luck.
said that you did a little bit of research.
Yeah.
I think a little bit is a lot, but you've also been doing this for years, so you know like how
Yeah.
to create content.
That's right.
So it's not luck. Like you actually put the work in to be
Well,
able
I won't
to.
say no. Yeah, I won't say that there wasn't work involved with it. Like I definitely put work into it. I did research. I obviously made the content. I tried to make it good quality, but I think with content there is a bit of luck involved. Like if you can, it's like placing yourself in a spot that is lucky, I guess you could say, is like kind of how content creation works in a way. And obviously I'm not the best at this, so like take this with a grain of salt, but like those people who go viral consistently, like they know the formula.
The algorithm.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
they're just like it's a bit of luck. It's not like everyone's a hit. Like every video they make hits.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Sometimes
I mean,
it'll hit, you get lucky, and
That's
when
fair.
when it does hit, it grows your channel, and that's kind
Exactly.
of what happened to me. I think my first or second video I got lucky and it hit. So my channel grew fast from that one video. And then a couple videos later, I had another one that hit pretty good. So that grew my channel a lot. So like your channel generally grows pretty slow, I'd say. Like
I agree.
consistent,
Typically,
slow
yes.
growth. And then you'll get a hit and then it'll grow. Like you'll get like a bunch of subscribers from that one video
Yeah.
because they liked it. But
That is a good point, but there's also, again, I can't emphasize this enough. There is an audience for jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah.
So people who love watching any kind of jiu-jitsu video and they see that, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to click on that. Especially like the way your thumbnail was. Like that's, to me, like that's captivating. Like I'm going to click on that and I'm going to watch it just because it popped out to me.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, it's kind of funny because like when I'm making this and I'm like, I don't know if that's that good. And then it hits and I'm like, wow, I guess it was good. But it's kind of like you really don't know
Exactly.
if it's, I mean, maybe for me with how new I was at it with YouTube, I still am new at YouTube. Like I haven't been consistent for like the last year or two with YouTube. I've been trying to focus more on Instagram, but still I'm like pretty new with it. I'm not like super big or anything. I have like a couple thousand on YouTube and then I have like barely over 1,000 on Instagram. So it's not like I'm a pro at this, but
Sure. But you've
sometimes I'm
also-
like, I think I can put out a good quality product. I think I need to work on like batching, which is like
Okay, yeah.
my titles, thumbnails, everything,
sense.
Oh,
and trying
okay.
to learn like how to, first of all, stay consistent with content creation because that's tough. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah,
you know,
super tough.
It's tough, especially like trying to do other things, like me trying to be an athlete and freaking
Yeah.
record all the time.
Yeah,
and-
of course.
Yeah.
and me being the cameraman trying to record the cameraman
yeah,
so
Yeah. So it seems like that's another workload on top of just
course.
really the overall number one goal.
yeah.
So would you pursue that and go and try to be at that high level and balance both, or are you just like gonna pursue that one goal you have specifically?
So
Go ahead.
before you answer that, maybe something one of you guys has an answer to. What are we looking at to bring revenue in? Like how many views or subscribers do you need to have? Because you touched on like potentially moving and having to get a normal job and balance being a high level athlete. But what if you can hit X amount of number to bring in some real revenue, and then potentially, like he was saying, that could be your job.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're still doing jiu-jitsu.
So-
You're recording the practice, or whatever it may
So
be.
now
your journey.
it used to be 1,000 subscribers. Now it's 500 subscribers.
For how much?
For
though? How
Just
much?
to get monetized. It's
just
not
to be
much.
monetized.
It's not
And this is
much. It's
just
like
on
nothing.
YouTube. But you got to hit a certain amount of views and watch time as well on YouTube
okay.
to be able to. So even if you have 500 subscribers, I don't think you can be monetized if you don't have the views and the watch
It
time
used to
up
be
there.
4,000
I
watch
don't know.
hours or
What-
something like
oh,
that.
What
But,
was it, Derek?
4,000 watch hours.
4,000?
yeah. But I mean, that's really nothing though. The YouTube AdSense, it doesn't pay much.
No,
Like,
yeah, I
it's-
mean,
Okay,
You're-
so
you're-
you can't really make real money unless you're probably
Not-
garnishing millions.
Well,
of-
not through like AdSense money. You're either you're a content creator to sell something.
I
Like
see
some
what you're
people will.
saying. I
So
see
your
what you're
audience
saying.
will buy your product
Exactly,
or whatever it
I
might
see,
be.
I see.
Or it can be like, I mean, there's a bunch of ways to go through.
Of
Or you
course.
can go through like brand deals. So like these people pay you to put their product in front of your audience.
yeah, because you have X amount of views. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
just because. So there's no real like number, I'd
I
say,
see what
where
you're
you're
saying.
like, you just got to be able to either sell to your audience or I guess that's really it. Like sell to your
Okay.
audience or, but I don't think there's ever like a point where it's like, okay, I have 10,000 now. I'm
feel
going to
you.
make money.
I
they're-
feel you. I
they'll-
see what you're saying.
They'll pay you for a certain amount of views, and this goes
Yeah.
for like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Facebook, if you have a certain amount of followers and a certain amount of views consistently, they'll pay you for
wow.
that. Even if you're not like selling like a brand, you're like
Yeah.
selling a
Well,
product.
yeah, of course.
Same with TikTok's a little different. They pay you like a few cents for a certain amount of views. It's insane. TikTok does not pay well, but people still. That's why people get into the brand deals and all that
Yeah,
through
exactly.
TikTok
Okay.
because they're able to like sell more. But,
and that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure how it all worked.
and then same for like, I mean, every platform is similar,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it requires a certain amount of followers and a certain amount of views to be able to actually get monetized. And from that, you got to keep it consistent. So that way they'll keep paying you. You're not like doing any brand deals. You're not doing any merch drops
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. They're just paying you based off the consistent like amount of views you get. So
Okay.
it is tough, and it takes consistency, and it takes a lot of work.
A little bit of luck.
A little bit of luck, maybe. Yeah. I mean, I believe it'll eventually pay off, whether it be
It will.
the views, the subscribers, or brand deals. It'll eventually pay off. I don't know
Yeah.
when that time frame is looking like. I'm not focused on a time frame. I mean, I'm gonna give myself like 5 years to have like over a certain amount of like followers and subscribers. After that, we'll see what happens. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, really just having like a platform where you can like speak to a large amount of people, like that's got to pay off somehow, you know, like
no, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
'Cause
the
you start-
connections you can make, like all
Exactly.
that, you know?
You start from people like yourself, like you're big in the jiu-jitsu community. You may have like more than 1,000 followers on Instagram, but these people that are following you are people that also compete at that high level, that are well known and that have a bigger following. So you just like even posting the video, or I take a little clip of you and I post it, and people are like, oh, that's Juan. They're gonna click on it. They might share it. They might, send it to their friends or whatever, and then that, creates traction. So people like you, like business owners, like high, I guess, status people, or people with a bigger following than you gain their followings just by doing something like this.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah, for sure.
it will pay off
yeah.
eventually.
Uh-huh.
I don't know
agree.
when,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the connections are always good, you know, like you never know what opportunities you're going to get. Like what if my grandma didn't work with that guy, Fabian? Like who knows where I'd be right now, you know?
that's insane.
Pueblo
like-
Central's basketball store.
Oh no. Next goal is the NBA, baby. Or the
Something.
WNBA.
Something. I mean, if you have that mindset, I think you can be great at anything.
Oh, for
If
sure.
you have that
I
mindset.
agree.
Yeah. Absolutely. I feel like
But yeah.
you gotta have. I mean, you just gotta. I've always said this, and I'll keep on saying it. You gotta be so consumed in like whatever you're diving into. For me, it's taken like a lot of time just playing with different things, seeing what I like. I've always loved just having a genuine conversation with people. I've always wanted to start a podcast. I did it, quit on it. Now I'm seeing more value in it from different inspiration and people actually doing it. So I'm like, all right, what if I do this and I stay consistent, and what if it works out? It's like, all right, well, I don't believe in a plan B unless,
Yeah.
I give it to my girl. But I believe in that plan A, and I am going to stick with that plan A until this plan A, works out. So you got to just believe in yourself.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't like plan Bs either.
I know you
it's
don't.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a normal job, so obviously
Yep.
I'm still just a bum doing jiu-jitsu.
That's hilarious. I mean, you said it, not me, I'm not going to say that because I don't think so, but you're a very humble, modest individual. I don't know if anybody knows this. Probably if you met Juan Martinez the fifth,
Not a lot of people have, but
they would say the same thing. You're a very modest, humble individual. I mean, we need that kind of in people's lives for sure, but I've always been a big believer in what you're doing, in anything you're doing. And the consistent work, shows.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course.
I see you grinding too.
Man,
That's
it's a
good.
grind.
It's good to see.
Yeah, it's so tough. I was editing clips last night. I don't know if I dived into that, but I was editing so many clips. And I'm like, all right, this is a grind. I was up until 12, and I was just like, all right, but I got 17 clips. After this is done, I'm gonna edit clips from this.
Nice.
So just have a little portfolio of clips that I
Yeah.
can post consistently, either twice a day or once a day. Ideally, I would want a big enough, folder to where I can post twice a day, Monday
Yeah.
through Friday, depending on the weekends. Weekends are kind of weird with YouTube, but that would be the goal in the future. Right now, I just want to have a big enough folder to where I can post a variety of different clips throughout the week, keep it versatile, where it's not saturated with the same thing, and go from there and just keep on that grind.
Nice.
So I got a question for you, Xander. So with that said, what are you looking to do with your podcast? Like you said, just changing it up so it's not the same thing. But what kind of topics are you looking to get into? Just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. like I want to be the next Joe Rogan. I want to be able to dive into the person's story.
Oh, that's cool.
Hot topics
I
that
like
are going
that.
on, but also like shoot the shit with friends
Of
and
course,
homies. But get serious when it's needed to.
Of course.
But also have fun when the vibe is right.
And I think if you follow that path, I think that's perfect. Like, I mean, on paper, that's awesome. Because it's, like you said, a lot of people. You're probably meeting a lot of people doing this anyway. But like you said, just touch on a little bit of everything, see what kind of sticks to the wall. So
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I initially got inspiration from, we met this TikTok star, but she also does OnlyFans, and she makes a lot of her money from OnlyFans. But they are on the grind with social media, and she was like, if you just do it and just like take that leap and consistently do it, like it'll pay off. So that was the one-on-one like connection I had, but the inspiration I like kind of got from making reels specifically geared around entrepreneurs, millionaires, billionaires is they have a social media page. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but the page is called the School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
I went all the way down to their first post, saw what they were doing initially, and then see what they're doing now. I'm like, okay, it's not very much different from what I'm doing. I'm just kind of being versatile, asking different questions. But ideally, in the future, that is what I want to do. I want to be in a room with these people asking these questions because I want to be a fucking billionaire myself. I don't want to be able to worry about paying bills, having all these struggles that you would have with a 9 to 5. I want to be financially stable, financially successful. I want to get a fucking yacht, go to Monaco, have all the honeys, have all the boys, fucking just live life and not worry about the next day. So if I can put myself in a room or just catch these people in any location, I was thinking like the Broadmoor, because all these people, at least in Colorado, are going to go to the Broadmoor. The Broadmoor is owned by someone who is on Forbes' list. So I'm like, all right, that's a good place. But if I can put myself in a room with these people, pick their brain, get it on camera, post it, and then other people who also share the same goals and aspirations see that, like, it'll create value.
Oh, yeah,
Not
of
only
course.
for
For
me,
sure.
but for them. Like this guy who runs this page has learned so much, and I'm sure he's implemented all the tools that he's learned from these people into his own life. Now they own a multi-million-dollar marketing agency. They're also producing social media marketing for people, but he's probably taking their advice, investing in real estate, stock, crypto, all this other shit. Now they're multi-millionaires, and they started in 2020, back in COVID.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the goal, for sure.
That's cool. And like you said, just kind of both of you guys touched on it, just fully immersing yourself in your passion. I mean, nothing but good will come from that, I believe. And that's one thing I've always struggled with is fully immersing myself in any avenue, and that's something I'm trying to change. But yeah, I mean, I think that's awesome. But it's paying off for both of you. You're competing at a high level. You're doing your thing. And I think it's paying off. Like I love the clips you post, just the little shorts. Like, I mean, stuff like that it's bound to pay off. It might take some time. I mean, Juan's been grinding 12 years and now it's paying off. It's like who knows what that time frame is. But I think if both of you just keep doing what you're doing, and nothing but good will come from it. So.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, don't fucking shoot yourself short. Like you've been grinding your ass off for years to kind of get where you're at as well.
Yeah, and I'm starting to feel like it's I'm almost there, right? This college stuff is finally paying off. I'm finally got a really chill job that's giving me some free time. And I'm hoping by January, February, or, into wrestling season, I'm going to accept a salary that'll let me kind of live my life a little more, I always say for me during COVID times, I was the best time of my life. I was training 2-3 times a day. I had, I didn't have to worry about money and things like that. And I think I'm just about there. The job I have is I'm able to stay home. I'm able to work from home. I got a lot of freedom, but it's taken so long to get here. And I feel like I just got one more obstacle. I'm almost done in December. And then I think a lot of doors are going to open and I'll be able to live a little more freely, which is what we all want,
Yeah. I mean, takes grind. Like we've always talked about this since we met, and then you introduced me to the Nelk Boys, and then seeing their content. We've always like dreamt of just creating content and like maybe some content like that, you know, like who knows where it could go, but it's funny. People watch it, and so many people are doing it now, but it seems like not how they were doing it, you know. But that was also at a time where they were probably the ones like who, what's the word? Who pioneered, yeah, exactly, that kind of route of content. Now a lot of people are creating similar content. I watch it, millions of other people watch it, and it's paying out for them. But even just shit like that, and now look at them, you know, they got multiple brand deals. They're sponsored by multiple high level companies.
Not every UFC event.
Yeah.
They're at every UFC event. I mean, they're now in rooms with high level people, and it's like, fuck, man. It all came from just that one McDonald's video.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
they're you know, just staying consistent.
Yeah.
Like you guys are saying, you know, no matter what that path is, just immerse yourself, stay consistent, and it'll pay off.
I agree, man. I
That's
agree.
the difference. Honestly, that's the difference between like people who work a 9 to 5 and people who do something unique that isn't commonly. First of all, they have that thought that they can. Most people don't. For some reason, they think like, oh, that's for special people, you know. But some people have that thought for some reason, and then out of the people that have that thought, like maybe I don't know what percentage, maybe 10% act on it. You know what I mean? And they're
Exactly.
consistent. And those are the high level people we see. So it's like
exactly.
you just gotta consistently act on it, and it'll come.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people settle. You know, it's
Exactly,
Like, it's
yeah.
like you get that 9 to 5 at Vestas, and
Comfortable
you're making
enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
you know,
the-
you're not quite living your life, or it's not what you expected, or you know, it's not how you envisioned yourself. But you're like, hey, I don't have to worry about bills, or
Yeah.
or whatever. But at the same time, you know, you're not living what you thought. Like my friend Marcus, right? He just became a lawyer recently, and he moved to Pueblo from Chicago, and you know, he talks about it all the time. He goes, you know, I could make 100 times more money out there, but it's the hustle and bustle of the city. Like I grew up there. He's like, I don't need to make $1 million a year. I can live in Pueblo, make 150,000 a year, live the same kind of life. He goes, he's at a job and at a point in his life where, you know, he grinded all through law school, master degree, you know, doctorates, and now it's paying off where he's like able to kind of dictate his life a little more. You know, he's not working at a, you know, under people anymore. He doesn't have a 9 to 5. It's like, no, I'm going to make my money doing this. But again, the consistency, what he had to do to get to that point. And, you know, and now it's paying off, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's all inspiration, you know. I like it because on the other end, people look at you a little crazy when you tell people about
Oh, of course.
these kind
True.
of aspirations. They're like, just stick with your 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Retire at 60. I'm like, fuck no.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm not trying
I'm
to
the
do that either.
opposite.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, like, bro, don't work a 9 to 5.
No, man.
Like do something, you know, like what do you like to do? You know, let's find something out that you can do versus like, I'm one of those people who I'm like trying to push people away from the standard.
Oh, of course.
Like I'm super passionate about that for some reason. I think because I'm
That's
trying
cool.
to do it as well. Like I'm really like, that's something that I would do in the future, be like, I don't know what you'd call it, but someone that just like tells people or motivates people to not just do what they would normally do and try to get people away from. And that's kind of what I do when I coach, like with Frank and Antonio and the kids that I coach. I'm like, you guys can do this. Like I'm living off of this right now. Like you guys can do this as well if it's something you really like, you know?
Oh, exactly. You know, and then just to touch on that a little bit, when Joseph was speaking with this recruiter, we were doing a lot of research, and you know, with these NIL deals that are going on in college now,
Yeah.
I mean, wrestlers are finally getting
Yeah,
paid.
it's
You know,
crazy.
so like not only can he potentially get his education paid for, but he could get, you know, $100,000 a year on top of that, and never have to work at Walmart, and never have to, you know, like do the 9 to 5 thing. But it's
Yeah.
like, you know, it's just up to him now, you know, and he was talking about that. He goes, it's just up to me. Like, I just have to put the work in.
Yeah.
And I go, exactly. You know, so
Yeah,
it's pretty exciting.
I agree. Before we close this out, there is a question I am dying to ask you. I've never got a straight answer or a correct
Okay.
story. And I think
All right.
you know what
Let's
the
see.
question is.
No, I really don't, but we'll see.
You are Juan the fifth.
Yes.
Your dad's Juan the what?
Fourth.
Who's Juan the third? And the
My
second.
grandpa.
Is his grandpa then? So your grandpa's Juan the third.
Yeah.
This is like in his birth certificate.
Yeah.
So his dad is Juan the second.
Okay. I think it skipped a generation somewhere.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Juan. All right, please tell me.
So I'm the fifth. My dad is weird, and he named another one of his kids Juan, so he's the sixth.
What the
There's 6 of us, bro.
Fuck.
So my my little brother, we call him Baby Juan. He is Juan the sixth. I'm the fifth. My dad is the fourth. My grandpa is the third. His dad, I don't think his name was Juan.
Oh my
or
God.
I don't know where it was. Somewhere in there, it skipped a generation. Somewhere in there.
So you don't even know who Juan the first or second is.
I don't know. No, that's like probably way too long ago.
We got to get Big Juan on the podcast, man.
He would probably fucking.
I don't know what
explain
that
this-
guy would talk about, dude. I don't think that guy knows either.
Every time I've asked him too, it's always been like a very generic answer.
I know up to the third. Well, what kind of answer do you expect from that? Like
He wants your whole family trail.
Juan the first was a sailor from Mexico. Like I don't know, bro. Like
So it should have went Juan the first, second, and you should have been the third, and then little Juanie should have been the fourth.
oh, like because it skipped a generation.
Because you guys don't know where Juan the first or second came from.
My grandpa probably knows. I don't know.
All right, so
Dude,
your
somebody
grandpa.
knows. We got to keep going. You know, we got to. I mean, you can't just like cut it off just cause. Like if you know that's the third, then you're the fourth. You can't just be like, all right, I don't know where the second is, so now you're the first.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
I am just flabbergasted right now. So if you have a kid, are you gonna name it Juan? What would it be?
Everyone asks me that. I don't know.
Would it be Juan the seventh?
See, that's why I don't know. My dad made it weird. Now,
Yes,
like,
he
imagine
did.
the fifth having the seventh. Like, what? Why?
Oh,
why is your
yeah.
kid the
See?
seventh? You're the fifth. Like, yeah, my dad's
Would it
retarded.
be? It'd be Juan the fifth junior.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fucking A. I still don't know an answer here. Tommy,
Me
did
neither.
this explain the
You
whole
know,
lineage?
no,
Tommy.
no.
All right, good.
No, but you know,
It is what it is, I guess, you know?
one thing I want to ask before we end everything is, what would you tell an up and coming athlete if they want to achieve like that super high level? What are maybe 3 things they should be doing?
Okay, let me think. So let's say someone, up and coming, they're just like a Frank and Antonio.
Yeah,
per
yeah,
se,
exactly.
Just someone,
exactly.
I would say I would explain to them like probably I would probably explain like a way to set goals or something like that first. So like I would say, so for me, I like to have like a freaking huge like North Star goal that like almost like a destination based goal. I
Makes
don't
sense.
necessarily like destination goals unless it's for this reason, to like give direction. So like I would say like pick a big tournament. Let's say you want to be an Olympian wrestler, pick that. And that's like your North Star.
Yeah, exactly.
That's to give you direction, so you know like always where to go. Everything is just going towards that. And also so you don't settle for like, oh, I'm pretty good, like this is good enough, you know, like I'm competing, I'm doing all right, like
Yeah.
I'm competing at college, this is good, you know. So you don't settle and be like, all right, I did it. Instead you have that North Star where you're like, okay, I'm not there yet, like something huge that you would
Yeah, I feel you.
feasibly like only reach at the very end, or
I like
maybe
that.
maybe even never reach.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
But it's a
exactly.
North Star and it guides you in the right direction.
That's cool.
And then explain like process-based goals. So like this is what I believe in, more process-based goals. So like for Xander, instead of like 500 subscribers by the end of the year, really can you determine that? Like that's up to other people to reach that goal. If you can determine your output to reach that goal though. Like I'm going to make a video
makes
per
sense.
week every week, and that will maybe get you to 500, maybe 1,000, maybe, you know, like, so it's a process rather than like, dang, I didn't reach that goal. Like
That makes sense.
it's instead like something you can completely control. Like you can control if you make a video every week, you know, but you
No.
can't control how many people subscribe from your new video.
Very true. That's something I actually do not think about it that way, but I've thought about it in a different way. Like, all right, well, what was the best way for me to get followers? I know it's not coming from views or people watching and then subscribing. It's coming from me actually controlling the situation, going out there
Yeah.
and getting it that way. So I like how you put it.
Yeah, no, that's super smart. Like you reverse engineer it. You're like, okay, what has gotten me subscribers in the past? And then you go out and you replicate that.
That makes
But maybe
sense.
that's the goal, just replicating that versus getting the subscribers. You know what I mean? Like this is the process that I'm going to do. So like teaching them that, don't be so like bent out of shape. Like I want to be a PGF champ by next year. Like you can sort of control that. Not really though.
Yeah,
you know, like
exactly.
other
'Cause there's
people
so
are
many
working hard.
variables.
There's too many variables. Yeah, something you can control that will lead you towards that. So one North Star goal, maybe you could have a couple if you want, but like some huge North Star goal, maybe even unattainable in like what we would normally believe.
Exactly.
And then shoot, if you reach it anyways, then that's how great it is. You know, maybe you were pioneer like the Nelk Boys or something.
So that's
But,
cool. That's cool.
That's probably one of the biggest things. And then something else I would tell them, I would probably, if it was a jiu-jitsu athlete, because I know like training and
Yeah, of
stuff like that,
course.
give them like almost like a roadmap of something they should expect. So maybe like, I guess depends how new they are. Let's say I'm just going to use Antonio and Frank as an example, just because, so they have a good base. They're already going. I would tell them that they need to double down on their strengths and start building a game and like really trying to funnel towards their game.
Of course.
So like really don't try to learn everything. The best people in the world are good at a few things. That's it.
And
They're
that's-
not good at
yeah,
everything.
and that's true for any sport. You know,
exactly,
At
yeah,
the
any
highest
sport.
level, you know.
Yeah, honestly, anything high level,
true.
like
Well,
even
very
like
true.
best business people aren't like necessarily the best at everything. Like maybe you got someone who's like an insane marketer or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I would say double down on that and like funnel to it. Like make that the way you win your matches. Like you're known for that, and people know it's coming, but they can't stop it.
Exactly.
So double down
Yep.
on
That's
that.
cool.
And then let's see, a third thing. I mean, those are the main things. I would say just like maybe, I don't know. I just like to inspire people to not like give up on it. And I don't know
Consistency.
which way. Yeah, just like consistency, really. Like it does suck, and sometimes it doesn't feel like you're ever going to reach that, but like you won't find out.
I agree.
So I think
agree with that
I think I
take.
would tell them don't live with what ifs, because that's like my biggest fear. Like
Me
if I
too.
get old and I'm like, what if I did this and it actually happened or whatever. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. You know, that's funny you say that. My mom used to tell me that when I was younger. She goes, never live with what ifs. Because my mom kind of lived that life. You know,
Yeah.
she wanted to be like a photojournalist and
Yeah.
just didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, she loved photography. She loved journalism, but she like chose a different path.
Exactly.
And now that she's older, she's like, man, I wish like I would have at least tried that or, you know, gave it a real shot. And she always told me since I was a kid, never live with what ifs, you know, go for your dreams, you know, jump off the edge, you live and learn, you know, it might work out, it might not, but no matter what, it's going to open some kind of door.
Yeah.
So that's good. Good advice.
Yeah, I love that advice. Double down, baby. I love that. I love that phrase because you got to double down.
For sure.
Yeah.
Gambling,
I like that.
life, definitely gambling. Double the fuck down. All right. You see a fucking hand.
Put
you're
that
like,
deed
"Ooh."
up. Put that deed up for your house.
You're like, Shh, put that deed up for your house. Sell your babies. You know, sell your fucking kids.
Yeah,
Who
dude.
cares?
If you gamble, put it all on red. Don't go play slots.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
got a 2,000 budget, put it on red.
Yep.
Wani the sixth. I'm sorry, buddy, but if I lose here, I don't know where you're going because I just sold you. So you better hope I win. All right. Anyways, thank you guys so much
Oh,
for
for
being
sure.
on here. I got my boy right here, Tommie. I got my boy right here, Wani. Go ahead, tell the people where they can follow you.
So on Instagram at Juan Martinez BJJ. That's really my main way to find me. But I do have a YouTube that I haven't been too consistent on in the Uke BJJ. And that's UKE.
Leuk.
Yep.
Go subscribe to Leuk. Uki. Uk.
I think the proper like Japanese way to say it is like Uke
Oh fuck.
or yeah, but you know, whatever.
It's like, yeah, you know, yeah, you
I
can.
don't really
I wouldn't
care that
last
much.
in Japan. I
Yeah,
would, but I would be butchering everything. Tommie, where can they find you at?
You know, my social media presence has dwindled a little bit since my Instagram got hacked last year or so, unfortunately. But, you know, you can find me on Facebook right now, you know, Tommie Cleghorn. Occasionally, you know, I'll throw some memes out there. At one time, I used to have a good following, but...
This guy did have some good memes.
He did.
Like
Yeah.
if you're watching this and you're a jiu-jitsu guy, he does have some good jiu-jitsu memes.
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
So,
He did.
you know, I'm trying to get back on the grind. Like I said, the last few months, I've just been focusing on trying to knock out this last piece of my life real quick. And December, you know,
I hear ya.
I'm all finished, and we'll go from there.
Well, this guy's gonna be along the journey with me,
Yes, sir.
co-hosting. We'll see what comes up. I know he's involved in some topics that I'm not so in tune with, so he's gonna be a great co-host for that. Other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, share it. Whole bunch of content coming out. With that being said, we are going to end it out. This has been the All In Show. You can find me on all social medias besides Facebook, because again, Facebook only allows a 60-day renaming, which is gay. Fuck you, Facebook. But sorry, I take that back. I don't know if anyone on Meta is watching. But the All In Show everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, besides Facebook. It's the All In Podcast. So check it out, guys. Peace.